Hey everybody, so glad you tuned in and could join us today. We are so thankful for that, and it is just me today. I think Pastor Ben did send an update, so we'll jump to that in just a second. But we had a great weekend, and it was a wonderful weekend in worship. In my life, my kids had they had a play that they went to, and so, or they were a part of, so their elementary school play. So it was a big weekend as my kids were gone most of last week, and then diving into that had a lot of fun, watching them perform Hansel and Gretel. We had Cook number 2 and Rascal number 8 in my family, so that was exciting. And then all weekend long, worship services were wonderful. We finished our sermon series on prayer. And then for anybody who was able to come back on Sunday, I thought it was an incredible concert. Ashley Fuller and her friends came in, a benefit concert, because Ashley has her daughter Abby, who has been going through so much. And it was wonderful to see a great turnout for Ashley and the Fuller family, and then to a great response there as well. So that was a wonderful experience, all a part of a wonderful weekend. So thankful for that. And then right after the concert, Pastor Ben had to head out. He was gonna spend a little bit of time in Wisconsin, and he's up there right now. We'll see if he sent an update here for us.
Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. I did make it to Wisconsin and had already been working on the house and had some furnace work done today, and I got more things to do tomorrow and Thursday before heading home, but just wanted to let you know things are good. We do have some fall colors up here, some reds and oranges and yellows. Not as bright as some years, but still very beautiful. And but I hope you're doing well, and I just loved everything that happened this past weekend with worship and beautiful music there, and then the beautiful concert for Abby Fuller, and all sorts of good stuff. But I hope you're doing well. God bless you. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.
Well, there you go. We didn't get to see any fall colors in that video. I was kind of hoping, but it's a beautiful time. I know here I've seen some friends post at Mount Charleston that is, the colors are turning up there too. So I don't know, weekends are busy with a lot, and so I don't know if I'm gonna have time to go up and see any colors this year or not, but I'm glad Pastor Ben is getting that opportunity and seeing all that is going on there. It is a beautiful time to be there, and sounds like he's got plenty of projects and spending some time with family up there too, I know. So with that, we're going back to a song that was shared last weekend. Hopefully, if the right one got in there. But it was a song that was shared at both 8 o'clock and 9:30. And this was a brand new song. There's very little information out about it, but it's a beautiful song. And so Dana Martin sang it, and we will jump to that now.
In the quiet of the night, I hear you call my name. Through the shadows, through the fear, your love remains the same. When my faith feels small and my hope runs dry, your mercy lifts me up and turns my eyes to the sky. You found me in the darkness. You wrapped me in your like the morning sun that chases away the night. Your word is a lamp that guides my every step in life. Though the storm may rage, I will not be afraid. Your hands are strong enough to hold the world you made. You found me in the darkness. You wrapped me in your grace. You spoke into my brokenness and lit my hiding place. The light on me is the light from you, shining through every shade of blue. You break the chains, it set me free. Now all I see is the light on me. Your truth, your fire, it covers my soul. Your love restores and makes me whole. Forever I'll stand in victory, because your light is on me. Oh, you said let there be light, and the darkness had to flee. That shame like endless inside, you're breathing life into me. The light on me is a light from you, shining through every shade of blue. You break the chains and set me free. Now all I see is a light on me. Your truth, your fire, it covers my soul. Your love restores and makes me whole. Forever I'll stand in victory, because your light is on me.
Amen. So that song, like I mentioned, it is brand new. Actually, I know Philip Fortenberry brought it to my attention, but there's really no information out about it. I know it's sung by Lauren Daigle, and who has done other worship music here, but we took one look at that and wanted to use it for worship services, but it required Keith Thompson sitting down and writing a chart and getting all the music ready and creating all of that would work for the song. And kind of amazing that Philip and Keith are capable of doing that, and even getting the choir on board so that they could have something ready to sing as a part of that song. Pretty incredible that they're able to do all of that, and certainly blessed to be able to lift that up. But love the song and love some of the lyrics in there where it talks about in the quiet of the night, listening and hearing. It returns to that idea of this voice of God, even when we are broken, or when my faith feels small and my hope runs dry. When we turn to you, you find us in the darkness and wrap us in your grace. And so, in my mind, that song really ties together our sermon series that we were in on prayer, where we, so often in life, when we focus our prayers, it's about either what am I asking God for, or what am I telling God, or what am I all those different things. But if we flip that around and allow God to speak, because God doesn't change. God is always present and always wants what is good. And so if we allow that to work, we can change, and we can find that change in our lives, and we can find that connection in our lives. And I see so much of that in the song, how God is showing up as that light, and taking that verse from Genesis chapter 1, let there be light. And God saw that the light was good. And to me, just fascinating that's how the Bible begins, wanting to share that there is light. And with that, there comes this hope. There comes all possibilities, that light can show up in our lives, and we don't always see it. And today, I was certainly struck, just looking back, knowing that there's division among people in our own congregation, and that's always hard to see, and difficulties there. It's not just in our church, but I'm sure anywhere you visit, people you meet, we see a lot of tension. We see a lot of people finding reasons to divide themselves, people finding one reason or another to look at somebody else and hate them. Or I might want to find somebody who I can look at, and to me, it's feeding that addiction mentality. I have to find more reasons I can to tear somebody else down or to hate somebody else. And when you stop and pause and breathe, it's heartbreaking, because God sent that light, and as the song puts it, you said, let there be light, and the darkness had to flee, and that same light breathes life into me. And it's a shame we can't see that. It's a shame that we get caught up in a world where instead of looking for that light, we're chasing this almost addiction to hatred, finding reasons to demonize somebody else, to call them names, to tear somebody down. In Matthew chapter 4, it says, the people living in darkness have seen a great light. On those living in the land of the shadow of death, a light has dawned. And Matthew's quoting Isaiah there, so it's a very, very ancient promise, and Matthew reaffirms it. But it's this promise of light comes into this world, and we need hope. It's a very familiar verse, specifically getting closer to Christmas time. And you think of the tragedy, you think of the brokenness, and another shooting at a Mormon congregation over the weekend, and just the tragic nature of this world, and people feeling like we got to go one step further toward hatred, and how to stand against that, how to live against that. And I don't know what that looks like in your life, but I know there are also blessings in my life that I need to trust in that and hold on to those a little bit more, seeing that God is sharing that light, even if it means just cherishing the blessings of going to a elementary school play, and because it's an elementary school play, we can't afford to have like our tech crew come in, and I don't know what that would be a big job too, for them to mic like 80 kids who all need a speaking part. I'm not sure how they would, at least.
We always say it's like herding cats.
Herding cats. I'm sure they'd figure it out, how to get a mic on 80 different kids who don't like to talk into mics. But I'm sure it could be done. But just even if you're there and I can't hear the lines of any of these kids, but it can just be a part of the joy, live into that. And that's what I hope the church can be. I also recognize that the church can be for some people, it can be a place of judgment too, and some difficulty. And what it means to change that, the way that looks, and speak light into that kind of darkness. And so I had one more video just to kind of change it up since it was just me today. So if we can go to that video, it's about somebody who found some difficulty in the church and wanted to find a new way forward, find a light and a different look at the Bible and the church. So if we can go to that.
Growing up as an evangelical Christian kid, you go to Christian summer camp. And one of the things that bothered me the most, especially as a dyslexic kid, was they would have a little contest between different teams. And I seemed to always cost the team the win because I could not remember any verses. The only thing I could remember is Jesus wept, and I don't even remember where it was. I grew up thinking that I was going to hell and that God hated me, and that God was really this angry, vengeful God that just wanted me to somehow please God. I lived a life of guilt and a life of self-hate because I thought that's what Christianity was. I thought that's what having faith was all about, was about feeling guilty or being some sort of version of a political party. But when I read the Bible, I realized that stuff wasn't true, and that a lot of the stuff in here had been misconstrued to say what people wanted it to say. And so for me, the Bible, the New Testament, even the Old Testament, set me free. I mean, as a kid, I always had authority figures who used the Bible, which I thought they were using the Bible against me. You know, they would say if you cussed or you had lustful thoughts or all these things were going to send you straight to hell. You know, when you're a teenager, all those things are happening in your life daily. You know, I mean, I remember my principals at the Christian school, they seemed so irrational, and they said so many things to me that I felt terrified by, you know, and I thought, well, they must know what's going on because, you know, they're the guys who know the Bible and they're the authorities who have the authority. And so I had this, you know, false good news, this counterfeit good news that caused me to be afraid, caused me to be scared, and you know what, and for a while it did control me, till the point where it just burnt me out and I walked away and decided I wanted nothing to do with it. I'll tell you what, I've seen the Bible misused 101 ways. 3 ways I can think of is as a weapon. Some use it as a fortune cookie. Others use it as a scary fairy tale book. When I see the Bible used as a weapon, I've seen the Bible used as a weapon against my family, friends, and people I love. It really makes me angry, because I find when people are using it as a weapon, they're missing the very essence of the Bible. They'll take a point here and a point there, and there'll be a lot of bull in between. It's what I would call a longhorn sermon. You know, it's something that destroys. And if you read this, Jesus talks about loving your enemies. How would I have known that I need to love my enemies? That's what really blows me away about this book, is it challenges me and the people who Jesus was talking to who are living in an occupied territory to love those who want to kill them. You know, and so when people use this to kill people, they're using it in the wrong way. Others use it as a fortune cookie where they just open up the book and they point to where they want to go. Or they crack open the cookie and hope that they're going to find out what tomorrow's lotto numbers are, or, you know, what's going to make them happy, or what they should be scared of the day. And often the book is used to scare people. Stories of damnation, or stories of children whose heads have been crushed onto rocks, or, you know, people being swallowed by whales when they didn't do what God said to do. You know, and so often we're driven by fear. I grew up in a church where I was driven by fear. And, you know, when we misuse the Bible that way, we do it such a great injustice, not just for others, but I find out we eventually start to believe those very same things. I came back and gave the Bible a chance because someone showed me love and grace, and I literally thought they were full of it and that they were compromising their faith. And one day my last hope was, if this is true what you're saying and doing, prove it to me by showing the Bible, because I was always back to the Bible growing up. And he said, read the book of Galatians. And I found freedom and grace, and it changed my life. For me, the main message of Galatians is don't get tied back up into the slave.
Cool. Well, we're not going to show that entire video there, but the point he got to was that when somebody came up to him in a loving and kind way, and he had grown up in the church, his parents were famous evangelists, and he'd grown up in that, but he had never experienced just somebody sharing love and grace and light falling upon us. And when someone finally did, he said it transformed his life, but he couldn't believe that's what Christianity was. He couldn't believe that that's what the church was supposed to be all about until they opened up the Bible and you see verses that talk about God's light coming upon us, even when we're broken, when we're lost, we are loved. And specifically, he mentioned the book of Galatians. And that's written by Paul, this man who, Paul wrote many of the letters in the New Testament, but he started off persecuting Christians. He hated them. He wanted to be better than them. He saw life as a competition to tear other people down, and that's what he lived doing. Just feeding that addiction to hate. And he writes in Galatians chapter 1, "For you have heard of my previous way of life in Judaism, how I intensely persecuted the church of God and tried to destroy it. I was advancing in Judaism beyond many of my own age among people and was extremely zealous for the traditions of my fathers. But God set me apart from my mother's womb, called me by his grace, revealed through his Son in me, so that I might preach among the Gentiles." And Paul simply says that he experienced grace. And it was from this outside transformation of love. And I think that's my hope and prayer that I want to leave us with today, is that wherever we go, that we could go out and we could share God's love with somebody in some way and be able to offer that kind of grace. And it might not be easy, and you know what? It might not be at all times. I mean, sometimes you might need to get out of a situation, or just make sure you're okay. But if there are times, you can embrace God's grace and go forth in God's grace and share that with somebody, because this world needs that, and this world needs you, and it needs all of us together to be that light that we can offer and live into. And so that's my hope, that's my prayer for today, and that's something we can all, I hope, give thanks for and live into a little bit more. But with that, remember, no Bible study tomorrow, even though it is October 1st already, which that's exciting that we are already in the month of October beginning tomorrow. But Bible study will be delayed 1 week, but we'll see you right back here on Thursday. And so with that, have a great Tuesday afternoon. Take care, everybody.